In this study, the researchers made the participants just wait in a room. No TV to watch, just the tables and chairs in the room. No magazines to read, but there was one thing. There was a button on the center table. The button only had one thing that it did. Whoever pressed it, it would electrically shock them. So what do you think the participants did? That's right. They repeatedly shocked themselves instead of being bored. We can leverage this into the best productivity hack that you've ever used. From the study, we learned that people prefer pain over being bored. So all you have to do is put yourself in a bored state, and then you'll be willing to endure the pain, the discomfort of doing whatever task is laid out in front of you. So here's what you do. You just go stare at your blank wall. In no time, you will become tremendously bored and start working on whatever task you had been procrastinating on for days, weeks, or months, and you'll be happily working on it instead of staring at the blank wall, because this is worse than getting shocked. One of my favorite applications for this technique is to use it on tasks on tasks that are boring in and of themselves to you already. So for me, this is like cleaning. The amount of mental resistance I have to start cleaning my apartment is extremely high, but just staring at the blank wall will overcome that resistance super quickly. In less than 5 minutes, I'll be cleaning my entire apartment, something that I might have been procrastinating for weeks on getting started. Now, if you don't have some large task that you need to work on, and you just have a bunch of little tasks, then you can also use a slightly softer version of the boredom technique. To do this, you'll just want to restrict yourself from consuming any sort of content. So your phone should be away, your computer should be off, your TV should be off, etc., etc. And so you'll just be standing around with this list of tasks that needs to get done. You're allowed to do any of them. You're allowed to do nothing at all. But eventually, that boredom will kick in, and pretty quickly, I would say, and you'll be able to knock off all of those tasks. And that's just by putting all of your devices away. You'll start on reading that you wanted to do, the dishes will get done, the cleaning that I was talking about earlier fits in very well in this sort of softer, more general strategy. The staring at the wall is for whatever task you have the most resistance with. So that could be doing your homework, or for me, I used it just now recording this video. I didn't want to actually hit record, so I just stared at the wall, and soon enough, here I am. I've seen hints of this concept mentioned in other things. A lot of the times in fitness, you'll see discussions of, oh, how are prisoners so jacked? And the answer is that they're bored out of their minds. They're just sitting in this small little room all day long with nothing to do. And so they can train for hours a day. They're trained way more than even the most disciplined people because they're bored. That is the power of this ability. But I don't see other people actually recommend to go put yourself in that boring place so you can get these things done. They sort of just stop at it as if being bored isn't something that you can induce in yourself. But that is exactly what you want to do. You want to put yourself in a place to be bored, and that way you'll be able to get the work done that you've set out for yourself. Boredom is the best emotion you can have for your productivity. It's a fountain of infinite discipline. Another side benefit of this strategy is that it'll tell you how much mental fatigue that you've built up. So if you don't have a whole lot of mental fatigue built up in your mind, then being bored will very quickly push you into action. However, if you are okay being bored, that's a pretty good sign that you have a lot of mental fatigue that you still need to clear, because being bored in that case is just rest to you. It's actually rejuvenating and it feels good to do. So I experienced that a lot at the end of the school semester here. I was feeling an immense level of burnout, and when I tried to use this technique, I would just be happy being bored. I would lay on the floor, stare at the ceiling, stare at the wall, and I'd be perfectly content to do so because of the level of fatigue that I'm at. But as that fatigue has come down after school has ended now, even just 5 minutes staring at the blank wall is enough to drive me into action. So this is what I want you to do. When this video ends, firstly, like and subscribe, but secondly, shut off YouTube. Turn off all your devices. Go stare at a blank wall. I know you have a task to do that you're putting off. You're probably putting it off watching this video on how to be productive. So when this video ends, turn off your YouTube, shut off your devices, go stare at a blank wall. Trust me, you'll get that task done.